The next presenter, she stood and was easily recognized, perhaps more for her voice than for her face, because she was a well-known storyteller, and her name was Sarah.
So I met my new boss, Deborah, a couple of days before heading to a conference with her in Denver. So I didn't know her at all. But after a long day of sessions and some stress over past turmoil at work, I got a little bit tipsy and I told her everything. I told her how I wanted our radio station to help change the world and how we could make a dent. I told her this, I'm sure, with eloquence and poise. As a kid, I wanted to make a difference, and I didn't think about it at the time, but I know now that that sentiment is shared by countless others. And I bet that Wichita has, per capita, more people out there trying to make a difference in their community than most places. How silly to try, though, right? It's easy to say that you can't do anything when you see how vast the world is and how complex our problems are. But you can make a change. All you have to do is engage in what areas interest you the most. That trendy word for starting a fire is engagement. And it's a new enough term that there's still maybe some disagreement about what it really means. But to me, engagement flips the switch on marketing and makes the experience of a brand participatory. That brand could be the city of Wichita or a law firm or a radio station. Engagement occurs within families and between couples, as long as it's a successful relationship. Any social structure needs for its members to engage in order to thrive. But back to Denver. Instead of politely excusing herself from my buzzy, idealistic rant and going back to the status quo of radio, Deborah decided that we should try to find out how much of an impact we can make in our community. So first we launched Engage ICT in 2016 as a civic engagement initiative to increase voter turnout. We discussed, with monthly discussions, we talked about diversity, the economy, the environment, city and county government, and more topics each month. And being present at an event is fundamentally different from reading a news story, for example. If you're at an event at Engage ICT, you can ask questions, talk to the panelists, network with each other, and give feedback that we take very seriously each month. And this year, we're developing a second component to that initiative. In it, we're listening to people from all different neighborhoods about the experiences they're having and the issues that they see in their neighborhood. The next step completes the cycle, from giving information to listening and gathering feedback to providing tools to people to help them make change and take action in whatever ways they are the most passionate about. And why would anyone want to make a change? Because they know deep down that something is wrong and they want to help. So if there's a problem, the solution oftentimes is right in the mirror. And it can be more incremental than you might think. There are many organizations out there doing community building, and so you can kind of jump in and find opportunities all over to help. Or you can do something on your own. You can tell your city council member that bike paths are important to you, or participate in a river cleanup day, or pick up trash while you're walking the dog. And here's a big one that you could do: reduce your use of disposable plastics. You could convene your own conversation about something that concerns you, or donate to a cause that's important to you. Another big one: register to vote, and then vote in primaries and local elections. You could also train to be an emergency medical technician on reserve. What an impactful way that would be to make a difference in the event of a crisis. You can volunteer in a children's group or an arts organization. There are any number of places. The list goes on and on. You can do tiny things or you can do bigger things. But the point is that if you accept the fact that the way you live, that if the way you live affects the world, then you can also accept that doing small things to help is actually critically important. But engagement isn't worth much without understanding. Empathy is the antidote to the fake interactions that have become so prevalent, in part because of online platforms. Real conversations are what we need, and they aren't happening online. Looking into one another's eyes and really listening are crucial activities today, and engagement means being empowered to act. Empathy means holding one another's best interests at heart. They need to go together. So let's celebrate one another while we fumble forward, because only in recognizing each other's humanity and hope can we possibly save the world.